Oh, so
Here we are,
good.
Cock of the Walk podcast.
Let's go.
Let's do this. Happy morning to you, sir. It's Tuesday.
The end of my shift.
And this shift on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Beginning of my day on Tuesday.
Give me a second.
Giving you a second. We've already kind of.
There we need it.
Dude, there's the car. Without fail, I feel like we're being spied on. Like they're doing that podcast again. Drive-bys, I'm sure, and you can hear the cars. You can hear all that stuff. The last podcast that we did, we touched on legacy.
Yeah.
And we can continue with that. I'd like to continue with that.
Sure.
A few things, just because, as you just mentioned to me, doing your own little research about, in general, if you did have a felony, and you, which is what you just brought up, minutes ago, a person who has been convicted of a felony, and let's say that felony is anything between drug possession or intent to sell kind of felony to murder. Yeah, okay. To murder. That word is just it kneecaps. I was gonna say it kneecaps you in the career world. It's so toxic that you don't usually get out from underneath that. So if you're a convicted felon, you will probably not land in our great United States any good way of making a living for yourself.
No, not necessarily.
And you'll be reduced to a certain few traits or jobs that you have to be comfortable with, almost as like it's that or nothing.
Yeah, and especially the article I read, it's like, oh, well, don't think it's the end of the world, but it's going to be tough. And it's like, how's that not the end of the world?
That's so slavery is not the end of the world, but it's tough.
Yeah.
Don't think it's the end of the world. Being raped repeatedly every day and beaten to shit,
that's gonna be tough.
And having no way to counteract that's gonna be tough. But since you're alive, it's not the end of the world.
Fighting. Yeah.
And then again, I always think back when I hear how hard my circumstances are for me. Am I either going poor me, or why did you do this to me? Like, well, oh my God, like, what did I do to this person that made them go, I want this done to this, to him?
Yeah.
Bare minimum, I provided you with 3 beautiful children. And this is the thanks I get. I'm sure, there's arguments for both sides, but to see what this is like transpiring into is like, and I that's one of the biggest regrets I have. I wish I would have known more about myself sooner, and someone who, sadly, I guess and this isn't the best way to phrase it, but someone I could trust was telling me more about what I needed to do, rather than someone who was disgusted with me telling me what I needed to do, because it didn't land well. Someone who's disgusted with you is going to tell you what, even if they're right about the things that are wrong with you, it comes off and it instantly makes you defensive or in denial of it. Then you have someone you love and trust telling you the exact same stuff. You might be more receptacle, to it and go, okay, I'll look into that, instead of,
well, let me derail this conversation as I tend to normally do.
What are you going to have to look at this time?
Nothing to look at. I wanted to actually kind of ask you to maybe just state something you're grateful for. I mean, we jump right into just, everything sucks so bad. I'll do the same if you need me to, but...
What am I grateful for?
Just give me like a one, I'm grateful I'm breathing,
That's pretty much it right now. I'm grateful that I have...
health,
I have my health. You can just, that's, right now, I am so ungrateful for everything. Like, it seems, if I had to say, I'm grateful for a friend like you, man.
All right, well.
I'm grateful for a friend like you.
Trying to lead or softball.
No. I understand. You weren't trying for that, but that's what you're getting out of me today, is I'm grateful for a friend like you to go on a walk with me, help me navigate what situation I'm in, even when it's this just disgusting, you know?
Yeah.
And I get so tired of people telling me, like, the way that I'm thinking about it's so wrong because there's so many options, and then they give me the good options. I get so tired of, how do you know those good options, like the plain and simple ambiguous one. I know you're sad now, I know you're going through a lot, but it gets better.
Just hold on.
Liar. Yeah. You're a liar. What crystal ball do you have that like it gets better? What aspect gets better, and when, if this is true, or is this wishful thinking? Because how come someone isn't coming over the top and going, hey, I know you're sad right now, I know that you're going through a hard time, but trust me,
it gets worse.
It's gonna get so much worse, and you're gonna wish you were dead. like obviously, it's just the fact that humans don't want to say those things. Like that.
What it comes down to is a lot of people live in a state of denial or apathy or poor memory.
Poor memory.
It's just like, I'm going to forget about how shitty this is and try to make a new normal. You know, I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
Like, make something new that's going to work for you, you know? And it's like, leave all this shit behind. And that's how it becomes better. You turn apathetic, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I give up thinking about all this negative shit because it's doing me no good.
Well, because
does that make it better? I think it's a strategy, but I'm not sure if it's a great one. You know, you just quit thinking about shit you can't control. It's so hard to do.
I can't control a lot of this, and my body's response and my mental response is to cave in. So to cave in and believe what they say. And it's really hard to transform myself after all this resistance to go, all right, I'm caving in. Kids are way better off without me. Yeah, you know, probably was a bad father. Probably would never be a good father. Yeah, no, I cave in. I'm a criminal.
But then
I deserve nothing but the worst for whatever felons get. And I should be pariah.
You don't believe
I don't believe it, but it's easier to cave because then I can go, let's get through this divorce. You're right, you get everything. Let's go through this criminal trial. You're right, I plea. Let's go. And it's harder to plea knowing this isn't you. It's harder to settle knowing that that's not what you deserve. Those things are harder to do. I'm gonna throw my scissors in my shoes, but those things are harder to cope with when you know it's not true. If you can trick yourself into believing, yeah, it's not just I'm the one in denial. This stuff's all true.
Yeah. I think it's hard for you too, because you're basically fighting a battle on two fronts. You got your criminal charge and you got your divorce, and they feed off of each other.
Yeah.
It's so much back and forth feeding off each other, and not knowing, you know, your Rule 35, and, you know, not knowing that information, all this shit that's hanging over your head.
And you say like I don't know my Rule 35, which in the actual, like, do you know it? Have you had the results? Yeah. No. That's what, you know, I hope you mean by, I know, like, are we in your way? Sorry, guy. I don't know what the results are, okay?
Yeah.
But I always apply a deductive reasoning, educated guess type of mentality to the situation and go, probability, it's not going to sound good. Okay. The probability that it goes, you know, after reviewing this guy's mental health evaluation, he is being totally misrepresented and bamboozled by the system. If, you know, in my expert opinion, give this guy $1 million and let him live his life.
But the evaluation is part of the system. That's the problem.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's not outside
the probability that it comes out negative in some aspect, or at least the ability to spin it into negative, like a negative thing for me, is high. There's going to be a high probability that whatever comes out, and there will be a good argument against my desires or benefit of what I want. So I have to, I'm like, my body's preparing for that.
You expect the worst and hope for the best.
I'm expecting the worst out of it, yeah. I'm all hope for the best, I suppose. And it's
a bad philosophy.
It's more than bad, man. Yeah. Because I see all these, like you said, all these cards were played, and all these cards were played hands down premeditated. Like there were forces at work who maybe didn't know how great this would be for their outcome and how bad it would be for mine, but nonetheless wanted to make sure that this is the way it sounded in the system to ensure benefit from themselves.
All right, well then, I got a question then. With all this premeditation, all this setup, all this, everything's gonna happen, were you blind to it? Did you not see it coming? I mean,
no, that's why I'm the idiot, because I mean, if a person's sitting there saying, I fucking hate you, I wish you were dead, I'd kill you in your sleep, I guess, and then at the same time says, I love you and you're a good father and I want what's best, you get conflicted with what's real.
I mean, you were being duped, or
is it that's what I say, is it gaslighting to be like, and then you go, hey, I'd like to press the matter about the bad stuff you said. I was kidding. God, you take everything so serious. And it's like, but were you kidding about the old I love you too?
Yeah.
You know, of course not. Okay, well then look at my situation.
And here we are.
Where's the love? Like it's all pain. It's all months and months of pain. And like you said, it seems like the other person just doesn't care. You just don't care. Like, you messed with the wrong nemesis, and I'm sitting there going, you were my nemesis? Like, I understand that.
You're supposed to trust him.
Yeah, that's the worst, man. Like,
is it the betrayal that hurts more? You know?
Maybe it's betrayal. Maybe it's a feeling of being betrayed, or maybe it's a feeling of I should have done more sooner to salvage this. But at the same time, because there's no telling, I don't have a crystal ball. Was this, dead? The word "dead in the water," or like, was this dead in the water? Day one, like I do. You're dead in the water. Like how far back did it go to know that this was never going to work. There's no world where this union made it, and since I didn't see that, and here I am, going through it life like, this is awesome. I got kids. I'm going to be a stay-at-home father. This is awesome. Never knowing that this was coming, and if I did know it was coming, I didn't know it would be so. Like I didn't know how the world worked. So I guess I didn't know how the system really worked, and I didn't know it was gonna be so crushing. I guess I thought it was like that coworker you said, where things are bad, but in the end, things are looked at. The circumstances are looked at. I don't feel like the circumstances are looked at whatsoever. Like I said, I never even got to stay on my side. It was like, hey, give us everything bad about him. We believe you. Don't let even my attorney is like, table it. You got nothing. You got no chance.
And that's a crappy system. I did overhear the one commercial that I thought you might be interested in. Again, I have no idea what they charge, but there's a law firm here that supports men in their fight, for their rights to their children and blah blah blah, custody and whatnot. So they're apparently very men focused in divorce. I'll give you that information. Maybe you can look that up this afternoon.
Okay. I think I have them on my Facebook page.
The unfortunate business is that you probably can't afford it.
I can't afford that. Yeah, service.
But I mean, if you can, or if they do, I doubt they do pro bono. But
and how weird is it that this, sadly, this podcast is poor white man complaining. Poor white man in America. So you must have it so hard, Yeah. And I'm like, and again, that's why it's like, is it just poor me? Because I mean, I'm watching TV shows that depict history and watch black people get thrown in jail without charges, and total lives being screwed over.
And again, we're not trying to equate your situation with systemic, oppression.
Yeah, straight up oppression.
But you're going.
I'm going through a hard time.
You're going through a place where you're going to be stigmatized. And how do you get out of that? How do you get out of that?
Last night I thought, given a 2-year span, if it's a misdemeanor in the end, if it boils down to settling to a misdemeanor, probation, probation, and that's in 2 years, and The divorce doesn't really go my way, but I have some kind of credit in there for child support so I can get on my feet again in those 2 years. On that 3rd year, will I be happy? Will I be still oppressed? Or will I still feel like I have no options? Will life get better? Will it be something I can tolerate? What is it that what am I headed towards legitimately, instead of just fingers crossed? You don't know. You don't know. Well, if you don't know, then why are you acting like why aren't you doing your best to find out, you know? And I kind of came up with, it's going to be bad. that was my thing, was it's going to be pretty bad,
again,
even in 2 years.
Not that I'm in any way qualified to provide legal counsel, but knowing that word felon on your record, I mean, I would suggest doing whatever you can to plead out of that word.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is misdemeanor. That's the plead.
But that means you may have to serve time. That means you may have a fine that you're not going to be able to afford.
Fines or probation or jail time.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
House arrest or whatever they come up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to not be listed as a felon. That might be your best option. Again, I'm not legal counsel, but just knowing that pending felon or a felony or whatever on a job application.
And do you know how easy it is to sway a child's perception by saying your father's a felon, or your father's a criminal, or your father got arrested? What did he get arrested for? He got arrested because he was, the actual charge is a felon domestic aggravated assault.
Again, like I told you about the guy.
It's easy to change a kid's perception that way.
The guy I know that has terroristic threats on his record.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a terrorist?
Oh.
I mean, really, think about that label.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with that?
And I guess, and then it's my matter. Do I deserve this life? Not like, do I deserve life in general, but like, do I deserve this type of punishment for
the quote unquote crime that you committed?
I was going to say crime. You could say sins or crimes or just my situation. Does it beckon for this type of response for me? Is this karma, which is hard to believe in? Is this, God's punishment? Is this the system's punishment? Is this just simply my significant other's way of sticking it to me?
Is this a wake-up call?
Is it a wake-up call? So a wake-up call for what? That I was a bad person?
No, wake up. This is reality. This is how the world works.
This is how the world works.
It sucks.
That's the word. Yeah. So I mean, again, that's the part. So this is how the world works. This is legitimately the world, and for you, it seems against me. Like, I mean, like, oh, but it does seem like it's anti me. It's here's, I would like to be, if I had, like, and it's what I tried to go do. I would like to be a teacher or a musician, something that brings joy to people's lives or helps educate them. Not for you, felon. You're never gonna be that. Yeah. And it's like, but why are you saying that? Because that one night, you got the cops called on you.
Yep.
And it's like, I understand that. I mean, I'm sure people have had the cops called on them before. My parents have told me stories where they've had the cops called on them and they talked to the police, and that's what they said. Why didn't you talk to the police? Because I had my head filled with either whatever it is to be afraid of the police, whatever phobia that is to see a policeman and say, I like spiders. Oh my God, it's a policeman. I'm legitimately afraid of everything you can say and do to me and get away with.
Yeah.
I have that phobia, or at least I claim to. I don't, And two, all these videos I've watched about them getting away with murder, getting away with popping caps in people, getting away with just saying it was one way when it was the other, and then the videos that are saying, do what you can not to talk to the cops. So I went, okay, here's my fear. Here's the videos that have infected me. I'm gonna handle it this way. Oh, well, pending felon then. Yeah. And it's just so unbelievable. Like, and I'm not saying that there's, like, I'm a perfect person. I'm not saying, like, how did this saint get such a hardship? No, that's not true.
A mistake was made.
I can even say that I like these podcasts in general probably indicate I should have taken care of my mental health status by myself instead of being so in denial that that anything was ever wrong, whether it's depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality, or manic depressive or something. I should have taken care of these types of things and looked into these things instead of just instantly going, well, because the person who's suggesting them has made it clear that they're disgusted with me, how am I supposed to determine if that's just not hard words, harsh words coming towards me in a moment of anger,
or honest,
or this is just honesty coming out in a moment of anger? And I couldn't distinguish the two. And now that I'm in the situation, it was a person who was just really upset telling me maybe the truth.
But you've also mentioned the fact that, everybody's on a sliding scale. I mean, everybody has a bit of depression, everybody has a bit
Correct.
of anxiety, everybody has a bit of fear, a bit
Correct.
of excitability,
And mine was on camera. My moment of weakness is been televised kind of. And so you take that and you go, well, that's all he is. Again, that's all I am on the paper, the pending felon. All I am on the video is crazy. That's what it looks like. This is what a person with mental health issues looks like. And it's such a stigma, it's such a taboo, that when you use that word on anybody who has maybe self-esteem issues, who has
anxiety, depression,
who would like it to be more specific so that I can actually tackle the issue, and you throw in, you're just a crazy person. You just need to be like straight jacket, white wall, padded room, crazy. And you go, that's offensive. Like, I'm not saying that there's not people like that, but even those people, you look at their chart, it's not just going to say
crazy.
It's not.
Stamp. Yeah.
So was it just the harsh words being put on me that led me to being competitive and going, I'm not any more than anyone else is? Or is it, what was it that landed me into this situation? And then to be in this situation, to wake up knowing that a person I love, who I built a life with, who we have 3 amazing children, was at one point out to get me. And it's like, it wasn't just the downfall of me, which is clearly like the biggest part. Like, I know my experiences, I'm headed towards the downfall of our 3 kids, not knowing what became of me or what I do with my time in life. And I again, maybe they're better off not knowing, but I feel like that's destructive behavior for them.
True.
And to do that, and if you have a conscience, if you have the ability to reflect on your actions, then it's also to her going, I did do this, and are you proud of it? Do you look in the mirror going, I did the right thing, I'm proud of it? Or is it just constant being fed by your family members, don't dwell, you did the right thing, people telling you, do you really honestly believe this is the right thing for our family? Because it seems like it destroys everyone within even the dogs, everyone within that household. Yeah, everyone in that household's gonna have to suffer in some bit. I only know what my suffering looks like, but everyone in that household's suffering.
It's taking a hit. Yep.
Yeah, and it sucks because I mean, it's that little too late. I came to the realization a little too late.
I don't know. I just think that at least coming to that realization is a huge step.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good in the long run, and again, months from now, your mental health. If you get diagnosed with anything or called anything, or prescription medication to help, or even suggested meditation or something, that'll just be like, you need to do something to help you get better. At least you're on that path.
So is that the path I'm on, is getting better with myself and not worrying about capitalism? Because how do those two conflict? So it's like, you need to take care of yourself.
Conflict.
Yeah, you need to take care of yourself and make sure that you are stable, so that if you do get a job, you don't have any issues holding down the job, right? And it goes, okay, so I'm going to work on myself. Okay, cool. Hey, by the way, you owe $1,000 this month. Yeah, okay, but again, like I can't find the employment, and if I did find it, I wouldn't be able to hold it down. I'm sorry, that's not what I said. I said you owe $1,000.
Yeah.
Can someone cuff him until he gets it through his fucking head?
Yeah.
He owes $1,000 or whatever, you know, like, or take away his car since he's not paying for it because he can't hold down a job.
Repo.
You know what I mean? So it's like those, that's another battle on another front, whether it's through the divorce or through the criminal or through just the social economical fight, like to stay in we're a capitalist country.
Yeah.
You are expected to make money.
And see,
go make money.
And this is tough love on you right now. Like, you gotta bite the bullet, man. You gotta take a shit job.
I tried.
No, I'm saying that will have you.
Oh, that will have me.
I mean, like I gave you,
Yeah.
a greeter at Walmart, you know, if that's what you have to bow down to. That's tough love, man. You gotta do something.
And if I can't hold that down, what do I do? Or what? Or I mean, I'm just like going through this hypothetical situation.
No.
I get a really bad job that really amplifies my depression. I work it for as long as possible, and I end up killing myself because it was just too much
reality.
Too much, on my mental health. That's what you're saying. I might have to just tough that out.
I disagree with that too. But again, that's that conflict of, is your mental health worth more than money? You know?
And to the system, it is. Like, I mean, I'm sure a boss would go, I don't care about your work. Like you say, work until you're dead. However you die is how you die. Work until you're dead.
But again, like a completely different angle. I come at that from, the night shift issue. Is that shift diff worth my mental health? Is that money more important than me going to a normal life? Quotes, air quotes, normal, back to a day shift where I'm off in the evenings and, home for my kids, sporting events or helping with homework instead of being there for, this crazy school situation.
Yeah.
Is that going to be, is that trade-off worth it?
What you get.
Completely different angle, but really it's the same problem. Money
I
for
agree.
sanity.
Money for sanity.
Yeah.
I'll throw in some things because I understand what you're saying. You're saying that this dilemma a lot of people are faced with. They wish that they could just have an easier job, a better job, a higher paying job, a job at different times, and but they have to take what they have to take or what they're going to do in order to provide for, not in your case, not just yourself, but to provide for the responsibilities that they've accepted, right?
Yeah. And again,
what responsibilities have I accepted right now? Like, which ones have I accepted?
You're asking me?
I guess in your opinion, like anything that you can think of, like things that I've accepted, not that have been put on me as obligations.
You've come to the realization that you need some counseling.
Counseling.
I mean, that to me is, like I said, a huge step. It's like, I'm having an issue, I need some help.
Yes. Good morning.
So,
So I've accepted that responsibility of seeking out counseling.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
And how will that get my bills paid?
That's going to be another thing.
That's not. It doesn't. So you're like, again, it all boils down to, not all, but like to me, it's I need to take care of myself and figure out what it is that was so hard for me to get through my marriage with. My marriage crumbled for a certain reason. I hate to think it was all me, and but I don't mind accepting that it had to be part of me, hence it was my marriage, right? And I don't want to put percentages, 50-50, 60-40, 30, but I have to go, what part of what I was doing was so hard on my loved ones, okay? So that's why I'm taking these steps to go, it had to be something's got to be there. I got to figure it out. I got to figure out how to get over it, or how to cope with it, or how to get treatments for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't stop the wheels from rolling on
Financial.
Yeah, you say it takes a year, 2 years to figure it out. Say it's lifelong. Say it is a lifelong thing, like diabetes.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that, but it's something like you have to live with this now, okay? And now, beyond having to live with this, you need to make money. through this?
Again,
What jobs can I get then?
okay, a little on the tough love side, right? You take a job that reminds you of your situation. It puts you in a position where you're making, crappy wage, and it's just a daily reminder of like, oh my God, this is how much this blows. Or would you rather have the daily reminder of, I don't have a job, I have zero income coming in, holy shit, this blows.
Oh, which one of those double it, like two? So a bad job that pays a little, but it reminds you just like how far you fell,
or not even having a job and falling further and further and further.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be that tough love guy. I think you gotta.
Now the time, as you said, time for money, right?
Yeah.
If I had, this is just playing the same, like going down that path.
Yeah.
If you're giving out 40 hours a week, 35 to 40 hours a week to the low, under $13 an hour job, right?
Yeah.
You're sacrificing that time, and you believe that you're getting underappreciated. If you can pull yourself out from that and you have that 30, 40 hours a week to do something entrepreneurial, like you're just working for yourself, and maybe you add in more, you add in another 10 hours because it's something that you're striving for yourself, then in that sense, that's the counter argument. Like, well, what if I was like, yeah, I'm sad that I don't have a job, but now I'm actually hyper focused on going and making a living with these two hands, my my skill set.
And hyper focus is fine, but capitalism, and you have to be profitable at it.
You have to be, yeah.
Again, put a month of effort into it, 2 months, 3 months. Where's your limit?
A year? Yeah.
I didn't make $1 in 3 months, but I'm out there doing what I'm trying to do.
What I love, right? Yeah.
But I didn't make a penny.
Yeah.
How's that sustainable?
And if you did make a penny, did you make enough to pay your obligations? Like just because you made enough to eat and to get from point A to point B that day, did you make over that much so that you come the end of the month
take care of your
can take care of your car and
So again, that's a trade-off,
But at what wage, say you take a low paying job, does the wage does not even pay your bills? It's $10 an hour.
The minimum wage.
Yeah,
right?
you get paid $10 an hour, 40 hours a week. Is that about $400 a week? So you do that times 4, that's 16.
Yeah.
And what happens when you're you have a 800 plus ish rent, 800 plus just child support, there's your 16.
Yeah.
So now where's your car, phone, food, taxes got taken out, where's all that? So at what point does taking that job also not serve your purpose, because it's just such a low wage that you can't survive off that either?
You backwards by giving up 40 hours a week.
Yeah, and now you're dead tired because it's 40 hours a week on the schedule, but getting up, getting ready, making sure you have sound mind and body, what I mean? It's like to get to the work. Again, it's a huge mess, and it's not just my mess. I understand that. I'm sure other people are like, man, stop complaining, go over there, do this.
Here's another thing to consider, right? And I read this too. I don't know how exactly accurate it is, but again, a felony charge. A felony charge may prohibit you from getting state assistance. If you wanted to go on food stamps, or if you wanted to get a EBT card for cash assistance or whatever, a felony charge may prevent you from being able to do that as well.
Really?
So it's a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's like you're a felon, you can't get a good job, and the state
You go this way or go that way?
I think we should head home.
Okay, let's go.
And the state won't even help you.
So you are literally thrown away by the system. Like the system's like, we got you. Maybe that's why they push it for so hard. Like, hey, this guy's headed to nowhere. We might as well try to get that felony locked on him so that he doesn't milk the system after his case is over. And if he pleads down, good for him. And again, the cause, like the from what I've heard and from what I've seen, there's nothing real there. It, like you said, circumstantial or whatever, but it's really just a situation gone bad that was like, I'm using this and I'm using my status to outweigh his status because he just sits at home and I don't. And believe me over him, and they do. And that's the disgusting part, that it's like, why go that route to get what you want? Like, hypothetically though, these kids grow up without a father. Is that cool? Is that all right? Is that, I mean, a lot of people have,
I Well, society now.
You know, fathers bone out on their kids and just like, hey, they don't know their fathers. Is it just like whatever, because it's not unusual, I might as well put my kids through that? Is that just to do it on purpose? Like, I didn't leave, but to throw them out? Is that disgusting, or is it just me who thinks that's disgusting?
Well, you asked, you know, is there anything else you've done? I mean, you care, you know, you care about your kids. I mean, I don't know, for whatever that's worth,
Yeah.
you still give a damn. You still want to be involved. You want to be there. You're not ready to throw in the towel. You're not ready to say, ah, fuck it, I'll be a deadbeat.
Yeah.
You know, you're
I'm gonna get forced into that though. That's gonna just be, you know, it's
reality.
That's my reality. Is they're gonna force me to, like, the system and all the little things in place are gonna fatigue me. Like, I can be strong, I can try this, but the
how much do you fight back?
Yeah, the lying or whatever it is, like the thing that people say that they don't realize is, you know, be strong, you'll get through this. I am strong, but I fatigued. It's like asking you to run a 6-minute mile and saying, I've seen people do it before. I know people can do it. That means you can do it. And it's like, listen, I can try, and I'll try my best.
You know what you should do? Run back-to-back marathons. That's what you need to do.
You know, like
that's what this is. It's a marathon, man.
Yeah.
You got to find a way to get through this one, but guess what? There's another one.
It's at least
behind
two.
it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, how do I get through? How do I keep enduring? You know, what happens if you get tired?
If you get tired, that's the thing. If you get tired, you fail. So you can try, but if you get tired, if you fatigue, you fail. This isn't it's a pass fail. It's not a give him credit for the effort he's put in. And that's what people are saying. Oh, you know, you do this for a year or 2 or 5 years, you do this, and there's no way that the system's going to be able to how do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you know what the system's
like saying everything's okay and it'll get better? I mean, that's platitudes.
And I'll try that. It's not like I'm giving up. Like I said, like I'm not fatiguing. I'm just depressed on the situation and how harsh it is coming down on me.
And again, as a friend, man, I wish there was more I could do.
Yeah.
You know, I do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wish there was more I could do to help you.
You've done enough.
Well,
yeah.
You know, try to work through one. You know, goddamn platitudes. You know, take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
You know, with what you can that's in front of you.
Like, what am I supposed to do today? I can't get a job today. I can put in some applications. If I spend 2 hours putting in applications and I go through the process of the background checks and every single one of those turns out to be like sorry, which I already kind of know that's gonna like I fear that. Then did I waste 2+ hours of my time knowing that it was going to be a fruitless endeavor? And why did I do that?
Well, I guess my suggestion, in as much as it blows, lower your expectations on the job possibilities.
Okay.
I mean, go into like, okay, I can work at Walmart. I can maybe work at fast food joint. Not that I'd even ever suggest that.
Yeah.
Maybe a waiter might not be a bad choice. You know, it sucks, but I mean, lower your expectations on what you can get for gainful employment.
Yeah. How can I get that employment?
And again, I think you gotta attempt to find 15 an hour.
I've tried.
I'm just saying that's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
To lower your expectations.
That's the thing. That's the state's expectation. Yeah. It doesn't matter that you can't find that. We believe you should be able to. Not going to look at your situation. Not going to look at the way the market is. Not going to look at what's happening to you. Fuck all what's happening to you. Do this, or go in, or be financially obligated on something you can't actually meet.
Hell,
have a good time.
I had a bachelor's degree working in the pharmacy, and I wasn't making $15 an hour. I mean, this is roughly 10 years ago, but let's say maybe 15 years ago. But still, that was with a degree and a decent job. You know. I guess
it saddens me the way that a person who wants to hurt you can hurt you on something like this, and that's the premeditated part. It wasn't like, oh, this is how it turned out tonight, let's make sure I did something, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. It was, you know, you already had the lawyer you wanted to use, you already had people propping up this type of narrative. All it took was an execution of this, and I mean, if you look at the police report and then you look at the testimony, you go, wow, these were really bold words to be using to
Who's
describe.
driving my car?
Not your wife?
That would be interesting if it is. She should be at work.
She has a truck. Where's she?
Unless she brought the truck home. It's the only, or somebody's stealing my car right now.
Right now, someone's stealing
That'd
your
be
car.
really interesting. It's my wife.
It's your-
All right, well, we're gonna go.
Yep.
You're gonna go far, go alone. Or you wanna go fast, go alone. You wanna go far, go together.
Yay.
All right.
Hey, this is Brendan from Cock of the Walk podcast. If you like what you heard, you can support us just by sharing the link. That's the most important thing, is to get the word out. If you want to go beyond that, you can do donations, you can become a member and subscribe, or you can even buy some merch. You can find us at www.halfmoonday.com. We are a Half Moon Day LLC production. You can also reach us directly with comments, questions, or topics you want us to discuss at cockofthewalkpodcast@gmail.com or cockofthewalkpodcast@aol.com. We also have a Facebook, and you can find us on YouTube under the Half Moon Day page. On behalf of myself and Shaun, thank you very much for tuning in. We know there's a lot of podcasts out there, and we appreciate your time. Have a good day.